Hello, second graders. Today we're going to be writing the book The Giant Squid by Candace Fleming and Eric Roman. This book, these authors and illustrators do such a good job of teaching us about the giant squid. It almost can make it feel kind of creepy at times. But our job as readers is to be really thinking about the main idea and supporting details. The main idea of this book is that the giant squid have many special features to help them survive. The supporting details, we have to find those, and we're going to read to find out about the features, and we're going to be sketching what we learn. So 3 of the features that the author teaches us about in this book are the beak, the tentacles, and the eye. So we're going to be reading this book, pausing and thinking about the special features that help the squid survive. But before we even get into the text, the author does such a good job of getting the book to sound almost creepy and get us in the mood for the text. So let's get started with that. Down, down, oopsie, down, down in the depths of the sunless sea, deep, deep in the cold, cold dark, creatures strange and fearsome lurk. After all, how can you know about an animal hidden from view? You must rely on clues, as scientists do. Clues left behind by the creatures themselves, a tentacle, an eye, pieces found around the world, found over centuries by whalers and sailors and people walking the beach. You examine each piece, questioning and guessing, wondering at the weirdness of these baffling beasts we call the giant squid. With withering arms and ghostly lidless eyes, they glide, some large as buses, some weighing a ton, so big yet rarely seen. Instead, they are merely glimpsed, now and then, from the prow of a ship, from a rocky seashore, through the lens of an underwater camera. Who are these giant beasts? Who are these giants of the dark sea? How do they hunt? How do they eat? How do they breed? All right, here's our first page where we will start learning about the tentacles. Here are its tentacles, 2 curling and twisting and 30 feet long, waiting for a passing fish, another squid, anything swimming by. So that's where I would pause as a reader, and I need to think, what did I just learn about the tentacles? I learned that they're 30 feet long, that there's 2 of them. The tentacles seize their prey. They surround their thrashing meal. They latch on with powerful sucker-studded clubs, row after row of suckers ringed with saw-like teeth that rip into skin and hold on tight. 8 coiling arms join, pushing the prey back to its beak. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to go to your square, go to your chart that you made. And actually, I apologize if I forgot to mention that. If you didn't already make the chart, please pause the video and make this chart on a piece of paper. And now I want you to add your ideas about the tentacles. What did you learn there? Draw a little picture of what you learned. So pause the video and go ahead and do that. So second graders, when I showed what I learned about the tentacles, do you see my picture? I drew 2 of them. I drew the little suckers and I tried to make them look pointy, holding onto the prey. So I drew a little fish. I could have probably labeled them with a 30 to show they were 30 feet, but I didn't do that part. I wonder if you tried that. We're going to be learning about its beak. The beak, bone hard and parrot-like, it sits in the center of those 8 slithering arms, protruding from the creature's mouth, rotating from side to side, ripping apart prey. I'm going to pause right there and I'm going to think, what did I just learn about the beak? It's kind of like a parrot's beak, so it must kind of look like a bird. It comes out from its mouth and it rotates. That's surprising to me. And what lies behind the beak? A dark hole, the mouth. And inside the mouth, a terrifying tongue-like ribbon of muscle, covered with sharp, tiny blades that slice, grind, file the food into a pasty sludge, easy for giant squid to digest. All right, go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to draw a picture of what did you learn about the giant squid's beak. Here's what I drew. It's kind of hard to see, but I feel like I tried to make it look like a parrot beak with a dark hole down in the back of its mouth, and then I put its arms and its tentacles kind of coming around it, because I remember that was part of what would push the food back. We're going to learn about its eye. Look at that. A squid's eye to me is unbelievable. Listen to these cool facts. In the murk, an eye, round, unblinking, some as big as soccer balls, the biggest eyes on the planet. Why? So it can spy pinpoints of light in its pitch-black world, glints flicker, set off by tiny creatures, jellyfish and krill, disturbed by a diving sperm whale. Their flashes create a shimmering outline, faint, so faint. Isn't that cool about the eye? And you realize because it's so dark where they live, they have to have big eyes to pick up on any of the little movements. What was the other really cool fact you learned about its eye on this page? Pause the video, and I want you to draw that on your chart. So on my chart, for the eye, do you see I drew a soccer ball? And I also drew a fish with like little stars kind of being shiny because their eyes have to be as big as soccer balls so they can see the fish shimmering. So those were just the 3 boxes that we filled in today, which were the supporting details. So if I asked you, what special features help the squid survive, could you look at your chart and describe those features to me? I bet you could. And that's how sketching things help us remember and picture the author's words in a book. All right, now you can just sit back and enjoy the rest of this book. But not too faint for the big-eyed squid. The outline is a warning. Time to flee. Sucking water into its body and squirting it out, the creature jets away. Isn't that cool how it swims? I love that fact. Danger past, alone once more, in the murky depths the creature floats, rising and falling at will. The squid is pinkish purple now, but any second it could change color. Maybe pale yellow, maybe silvery gray, maybe red with brown stripes or orange with black dots. Which colors, which pattern? It's another mystery. And why do they change? Maybe to impress a mate. Second graders, isn't it cool that they could be all those different colors? Oh, I just love that. How does the female squid lay her eggs? How long does it take them to hatch? More unanswered questions. Still more mystery. And yet, one day, a baby giant squid hatches from its egg. Teensy tiny, just 2 inches long. In the oceans, it is dangerous to be bite-sized. Uh-oh, do you see the picture of what's coming in on there? Watch out for that barracuda, quick! And now look at those illustrations. What did the squid leave behind? Ink! It's gone. So we know giant squid use ink to help them hide so they can get away from predators. And look, that's the end of the book. Isn't that interesting that Candace Flemings would choose, she starts out the story and then she has it disappear at the end? I thought that was a really cool ending. And look at this great diagram. It shows us the different parts of the squid and what each of those different parts do. So we learned about its beak, its tentacle, and its eyes. But look at, they have fins and a mantle and a funnel and the arms. Those are so many different cool things to learn about. I hope you enjoyed this book about the giant squid. Today when you're doing your writing or your reading, I want you to maybe try doing some sketches of the supporting details that you learn about to help you remember the details of the book. Happy reading, second graders.